All right, again, just recording this and shit because you got stupid ass motherfuckers out there. But again, you live in fucking hell and they do some fucked up ass shit to fuck with your head and shit like that. For example, I CH root into the new installation and shit like that. And check this out. Anybody that knows what's going on and shit like that will be like, yeah, what the fuck? ls. So let's just back out of it. All right, let's go to the root directory. ls. All right, so Liz, everything that I have installed, right? Let's get it. But primarily will be the boot partition. So Liz, right now everything that's in the boot, right? That, all right, and then that I just created because it didn't have the EFI partition shit like that, and EFI directory shit like that, so I can mount the actual, you know, partition, SDA1. That was the, who gives a fuck? The point is hella fuckery and shit like that, you know, you know. But the thing is that a lot of shit, it's cursed and shit like that. Like recently, I just rewatched the fucking movie, The Mummy and shit like that. The Mummy Returns, and that's where a motherfucker right there was like, why are you saying everything's cursed? That's cursed, right? But it's true. A lot of shit that you see, they curse shit and shit like that here. That's why it acts weird and shit like that. Even like me saying that right now, see that? They'll fuck with your neurons and shit like that, or hella fuck with shit, to make it all, fuck with you and shit. It's a fucking trip and shit. Once you realize that type of shit and shit like that, it's a fucking trip. That's why a lot of killings and shit like that occur, because they know that they're being fucked with and shit like that. Like I even stayed on all the fucking videos and shit like that. Like a lot of motherfuckers crossing the fucking street and shit like that, or whatever, getting ran over or whatever. Yeah, they fuck with the wrong motherfuckers now and shit like that. They're like, yeah, you fucking lying ass bitch. I'm gonna run you the fuck over and shit. For real. And again, I'm the fucking boss and shit like that. I know who the fuck I am and shit like that. I'm not hiding it. Shit. And you were saying, well, why didn't you say that shit when you're like getting arrested and shit like that? Because a lot of motherfuckers and shit like that, cops and shit like that are not who the fuck they say they are and shit like that. And me doing that shit, this has already reoccurred. See, reoccur also like fucking with your language and shit. Reoccurred a shitload of times and shit. I already know all the time frames of me doing that shit where I actually, killed one of those motherfuckers, shit like that. And you go that through your mind because it actually occurred to me. So you're like, oh, let me just keep quiet. Otherwise, it's not gonna turn out the way that it should and shit like that. For real, it's a trip, hella trip. All right. Um, like all this has reoccurred a shitload of times. That's why when you see me rambling shit like that, everybody has deja vu because it has already happened all over again and all over and shit. Now that's why to me, I don't really give a fuck about my life and shit like that. Like you could go kill me and shit like that. It's not a problem to me because I know what's gonna happen, so it doesn't really matter.